वक्त जब फैसला करता है तो सिर्फ कंपनीज नहीं, पूरी इंडस्ट्री बदल जाती है। 2016, India was standing at the edge of a digital revolution. But most Indians didn't realize it at that time. Mobile internet was expensive. Call drops were normal. People used to switch off videos midway to save data. 1 GB data in India costed roughly 225 to 250 odd rupees. Today in 2026, India is amongst the cheapest in the world when it comes to the data. And somewhere between these two realities stands one company, Reliance Jio. बाजार में हर कोई पैसा कमाने आता है, पर कुछ लोग पूरी आदतें बदल जाते हैं. Because what Jio did, it was not competition. It was a corporate Kurukshetra. On one side, there were established telecom giants. On other side, there was Mukesh Ambani's Jio with almost 1.5 lakh crore already invested before launch. Imagine the audacity. Most companies pay for profitability after launch. Reliance spent billions before asking for a single rupee from the customer. That is not business confidence. That is empire building. And then, 5th September 2016, Mukesh Ambani took the stage.
For Jio customers will be absolutely free with the lowest data rates anywhere in the world.
Calm voice, mired words, but hidden inside that speech was one of the most destructive business strategies India had ever seen. Free voice calls, almost free data, free roaming. India's telecom industry probably smiled nervously that day. Few months later, nobody was smiling. Data prices collapsed by more than 90%. Vodafone and Idea merged. Reliance Communication became bankrupt. Aircel disappeared. Smaller telecom operators just vanished. And India got addicted to the internet. पहले लोग बैलेंस बचाते थे, आज लोग स्क्रीन टाइम नहीं बचा पाते. Today, India consumes more mobile data than the entire continents. Forget the countries. The average Indian user consumes more than 20 GB data per month. Imagine, more than 20 GB data per month on an average as an average Indian user. Think carefully about this. A country which was once scared of opening YouTube videos on mobile so that the data does not get disturbed became world's largest data consuming nation. That is not telecom disruption, that is behavioral colonization. And now the same Reliance with Reliance Jio is preparing for what could become India's biggest IPO ever. Potential valuation 10 lakh crores to 12 lakh crores. Some global estimates even hint towards 13 lakh crore plus of valuation. Not billion, 10 lakh crore plus of valuation. This IPO may just not list a company, it may permanently alter the Indian stock markets, the mutual funds, the retail investing, tech valuations, and perhaps India's position in the global markets itself. कुछ companies product बेचनी है, कुछ services और कुछ future. Today, we decode how Reliance Jio's IPO could change the Indian markets forever. Welcome back, everyone. Today's video is not merely about an IPO. It is about ambition, about scale, about strategy, about India's digital destiny. Because somewhere Mukesh Ambani's Reliance understood something before almost everyone else. Data is India's future oil, not the crude oil. It was data. And in the 21st century, whoever controls data pipelines eventually influences commerce, advertising, entertainment, payments, education, shopping, and even human attention itself. That is why global giants invested billions into Jio. Meta invested nearly $5.7 billion. Google invested $4.5 billion. Not because they needed another telecom company, because they saw what Reliance was quietly building. India's digital infrastructure backbone. जंग सिर्फ टेलीकॉम की नहीं थी, कंट्रोल की थी. To put in context, it is perhaps the most aggressive business disruption India has ever seen. And to understand this IPO, let's first understand how outrageous Jio story actually is. Reliance did not enter telecom gradually. It entered like a tsunami. Before launch itself, nationwide fiber, 4G only architecture, spectrum purchases, massive towers, gigantic capex. Nearly 1.5 lakh crore deployed. Before even a single penny being earned. 1.5 lakh. And then came the killer move. It's all free. Now understand the brilliance here. Mukesh Ambani did not attack the competitors first. He attacked the consumer's behavior because once Indians tasted cheap, unlimited internet, there was no going back. Within just 170 days, 6 months from its launch, Jio crossed 100 million subscribers. 10 crore से ज़्यादा लोग. Faster than Facebook, faster than WhatsApp, faster than Skype, almost every major internet platform globally. And this is where the story becomes bigger than just the telecom. Jio indirectly accelerated the YouTube consumption, online education. The WallStreet school is also a beneficiary of it. Food platforms, OTT platforms, UPI adoption, creator economy, fantasy gaming, digital broking apps, influencer culture. Even India's stock market boom among youth is a lot to do with the data, free data given by Reliance Jio. Somewhere traces back to cheap internet penetration. A trader in Jaipur watching option selling videos, a student in Patna learning Excel online, a CFA aspirant attending lectures from a small town. Cheap data changed the economic access itself. क्योंकि इंटरनेट सस्ता होने से लोगों के सपने महंगे हो गए. Let's talk of the markets. Why Dalal Street is obsessed with this IPO? Because let's talk markets. India has never truly had a listed digital giant at this scale. Expected valuation is 120 to 150 billion dollars. That roughly translates into 10 to 12 to 13 lakh crores. For comparison, this could immediately place Jio amongst India's most valuable listed business. And remember, this is no longer merely telecom. Jio today includes wireless, broadband, air fiber, enterprise services, cloud infrastructure, entertainment ecosystem, apps, AI ambitions, device ecosystems, potentially financial services integration in the future. You're talking of subscriber base? More than 500 million users. This is larger than the population of most countries. And unlike many tech startups, Jio already generates enormous operating cash flows. I mean, they have reported EBITDA estimates to the tune of 60,000 plus crores. This is why global investors are paying attention. Because markets worship three things: scale, profitability, dominance. Jio has all three of them. Markets में valuation सिर्फ नंबर से नहीं आता, नैरेटिव से भी बनता है. अब डिस्कस करते हैं कि कैसे ये वाला IPO इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट्स का डायनामिक्स चेंज कर देगा. इट इज गोइंग टू हेल्प इन इंडेक्स ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. इफ जियो लिस्ट्स नियर एक्सपेक्टेड वैल्यूएशंस, it could immediately get massive weightage in Nifty, Sensex, MSCI indexes and global emerging market indices. That means ETFs, passive funds, pension funds, global institutions all may need exposure automatically. This creates enormous liquidity flows into the Indian markets. Second, India would finally get its tech titan. I mean, we've all known Reliance as a petrochemical company for the last 40-45 years. But imagine, America has Apple, Amazon, Meta, Google. China has Alibaba, Tencent. India mostly had banks, IT services, manufacturing conglomerates. Jio could become India's first truly gigantic listed digital consumer tech platform. Psychologically, this changes the global perception. India may stop looking like only a services economy and start looking like a digital consumption superpower. And also understand the Reliance emotional connection with the middle class. I mean, Dhirubhai Ambani, he was the one who created that equity cult in India, investing decades ago when Reliance IPO came. Way back in 1977. Reliance AGMs in football stadiums felt like public events. Mukesh Ambani's perhaps understands something deeply. इंडिया में लोग सिर्फ शेयर्स नहीं खरीदते, उम्मीद खरीदते हैं. And this IPO could create enormous retail participation, especially among first time investors. And let's be honest, जिस तरह से इतनी ब्रूटैलिटी हुई है इतने IPOs में in the last 2 years, जब स्टॉक मार्केट ने बिल्कुल भी कोई रिटर्न नहीं दिया है, बहुत रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स इमोशनली हर्ट हुए हैं. कितने सारे डीमैट अकाउंट जीरो में, अब स्टॉक पे काफी कम हुए हैं. बट इफ जियो डिलीवर्स स्ट्रॉन्ग लिस्टिंग एंड परफॉर्मेंस, कॉन्फिडेंस इन इंडिया's IPO ecosystem may return aggressively. And when confidence returns, liquidity follows. And if I talk of the risk, if I talk of the एक बार के लिए इमोशंस को छोड़ देते हैं, बिकॉज मार्केट्स पनिश करती है ब्लाइंड वर्शिप को. अब इसमें रिस्क क्या है? Telecom remains brutally capital intensive. 5G rollout requires huge continuous investments. Competition फिर भी है. ARPU in India, average revenue per user, remains relatively low as compared to the developing markets. And perhaps the most important question, how should Jio be valued? As a telecom operator or as a technology ecosystem? Because those two categories trade at absolutely different valuation multiples. One gets respected, the other gets legendary valuations, and perhaps the biggest risk is the expectation itself from the Reliance Jio IPO. Because बाजार में अक्सर कंपनीज नहीं गिरती, expectations गिरती हैं. But irrespective of the valuations, one thing is undeniable. Jio has already changed India once, and it may change Indian capital markets for once and for all the times. From cheap internet to digital payments to OTTs to online education to stock market participation, Jio sits quietly at the center of modern Indian consumption. And somewhere, this IPO represents something larger than Reliance itself. It represents India's digital rise. It represents India's ambition to build global scale technology giants. क्योंकि जिस लेवल पे, जिस स्केल पे इसका IPO आ रहा है, वो ये कहता है कि समुद्र से कह दो अपनी औकात में रहे, क्योंकि हम वो लोग हैं जो लहरों को भी डायरेक्शन देते हैं. Because Mukesh Ambani may not merely be listing a telecom company. He may be listing India's digital future. Tell me honestly in the comments, will Jio become India's greatest wealth creating IPO or India's biggest market hype event? And if you enjoyed this deep dive, do like, subscribe and share this video with someone who still thinks कि Jio is सिर्फ SIM card वाली company.